guys, the Herondales are really haunting the narrative. Moment of silence for how cool rune magic is. This is Warlock 101. Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing another Shadowhunters reading vlog. These are by far my favorite videos to make. This year, if you didn't know, I am reading all 23 Shadowhunter books in anticipation for Cassandra Clare's final Shadowhunter series, which comes out on November 3rd. I'm so excited. It's pretty much all I think about ever. Everything I've picked up this year is a reread, except for Cassandra Clare's Kickstarter books, which are slowly being traditionally published, and it is finally time to read A Sea Change, this small but mighty novella that is about Matthew Fairchild. That is me jumping ahead because I am so excited for new content, but to continue our official reread according to Simon Teen's reading order, we are on books 11 and 12, which would be the Bane Chronicles and Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy. I truly believe that the Bane Chronicles is one of the most underrated books in the Shadowhunters universe. I've only read it once back in 2021, and I absolutely loved it, ate it up, gave it 5 stars. The audiobook is amazing. I cannot wait to be back. I am craving a mountain excursion today, so I'm gonna pick up a huge iced chai, drive up to the mountains, and read this hopefully in one sitting because it is 100 something pages, and I need it now. Inject this into my veins. Tragically, a crisis did occur today. Well, there's good news and bad news. The good news is I tried the chai at my favorite coffee shop. 10 out of 10. So good. Life-altering. The bad news is I picked up some sushi on my way up the canyon. I almost ate it in the car, but I was like, no, I'll find a good mountain spot, I'll settle, and then I'll eat and it'll be perfect. So I go, I open up the sushi, and I realize it was made with imitation crab, which I'm allergic to, and I had no other food. So then I was up the canyon and so hungry. It was still so beautiful, and I hung out for a little bit because I wanted to enjoy it, but then I went back to the grocery store. You know when you're so hungry that you're panicked because you can't decide what to eat? I just got girl lunch and got a can of Pringles and some strawberries, and now I'm in some random neighborhood by the grocery store. I am still gonna give a reading update because I got to listen to 2 of the short stories in this book throughout all of that chaos. The Bane Chronicles is exactly what you would expect. We get Magnus traveling all throughout space and time, going on adventures throughout his life, and this is all before we got to meet him for the first time in City of Bones. This is interesting as far as Shadowhunter books go because there's sort of a shortage of Shadowhunters. This is Warlock 101. This is Magnus's experience. It's fun to see the world from his eyes because he's such a free-spirited, independent character, and he has lived a very full life. The first story chronicles why he may or may not have been kicked out of Peru, which is kind of a side comment that's made in one of the original trilogies. And the second short story is during the French Revolution when Magnus lives in Paris, and it's how he met Marie Antoinette. It's just so mind-blowing because this is a YA fantasy world that I grew up on that feels very supernatural, but this is very immersed in our world and our world's history, so it's just really fun. Also, I've been thinking, did Magnus Bane ever meet Addie LaRue? Not like he would remember if he did, but I'm sure they met and had a really fun night, whether it was romantic or platonic. I feel like I lean towards platonic, but who's to say? I mean, she would probably be his type because she's so mystical. He would be that type of character we read about in her book where she meets them over and over again, and even though they can't remember her, they always let her in and are kind to her. They would get along so well. It just makes sense. This is my new headcanon. I originally read this and Addie LaRue at the same time, and it wrecked me because I just want to be an immortal person who can travel all throughout time. It actually is a sensitive topic. I want to be a warlock. Wait, actually comment what you guys think you would be in the Shadowhunters world universe, please. I always want to know, would you be a werewolf, vampire, fairy, Shadowhunter, or warlock? I would just have to be a warlock. I know it, because that's my greatest dream. But obviously being a Shadowhunter would be super cool too. Will I ever read A Sea Change at this point? It's like the world doesn't want that for me. I need to lock in and just read it. I literally had a dream about Matthew Fairchild last night. This is serious. just met Edmund Herondale. I totally forgot he was in this book. So that is the Will Herondale's father. And he's blonde. I did not think he was blonde. I thought he was brunette. Blonde, just like Jace, just like Kit. The world is cyclical. Cassandra Clare's world is cyclical. But I'm not reading any more of that right now. It's time. We're locking in. Okay, I need to read this. This is a mystery starring Matthew Fairchild that takes place right after the events of Chain of Thorns, and it's set on a mysterious, glamorous ocean liner. I'm not gonna lie, my first impression of Matthew Fairchild was, okay, I need you to move out of the way so that something I want to happen can happen. And I feel so bad about that because he's one of those characters where she wasn't afraid to jump headfirst into complete devastation and flesh out his character and lots of trauma, and I think he's maybe one of her best. When I first read The Last Hours, I was immediately swept away by Cordelia and James and Lucy, and I always liked Matthew, but I want to give him my full attention because he deserves it. That's enough yapping, let's read this. He loves dogs, he has a golden retriever, and he loves literature.
He's gay, but he has a special connection to classical music.
Moment of silence for how cool rune magic is. Like, they just tattoo it on their body and it gives them strength. Cassandra Clare is so good at her craft. Angst, tension, atmospheric setting, high stakes, romance, incredible writing. This is why she's my favorite author. On the hunt for some new hyperfixation meals. Does anyone else struggle with what to cook? One of my favorite YouTubers, Peru's Project, she always shows what she eats throughout her weeks, throughout her reading vlogs, and I love it. So I thought I would take you guys with me on this journey. I usually try to integrate some hobbies into my reading vlogs, and this week it's going to be hiking and cooking. I always eat the same breakfast, which is oat bowls, so I need to get inventive for lunch and dinner. The criteria I'm trying to meet is that one of those meals is something a second grader would love and eat, and the other is girl invents new way to eat vegetables. This meal we're about to make, I hope your expectations aren't too high. It's the second grader category, something easy to throw together and simple. So we're just gonna make a sandwich, but a good sandwich, one of a kind, something I've never had before. We'll see how this goes. Was the best sandwich of my life, and now we read. Actually, first, I'm gonna give a book review because I did finish A Sea Change. Cassandra Clare is always incredible, but I think her writing really shines when it comes to novellas and short stories. What am I saying? It always shines. But this had such a great conflict, such a great ambiance. I loved the romance. My only complaint was that it was too short. I would have read 500 pages of this, but that's on me. I'm lucky it even exists. I'm just a greedy little ogre when it comes to Shadowhunters. I'm gonna rate this 4.5 stars. I absolutely loved it. And as for the Bane Chronicles, I feel like I am traveling the world with Magnus. So far, we have been to Peru in the late 1700s, the French Revolution in Paris, Victorian England, Edwardian England, the Roaring 20s on the dawn of the Great Depression, and now we're in 1950s New York City. I mean, come on. That is so fun. Like, this is just literally historical fantasy. As always, the Herondales are really haunting the narrative. They excel at that. But we're also getting a lot of other fun cameos too. There is a time in the 1920s where Magnus has a speakeasy and he has all of these strangers sleeping at his apartment, and they have this kind of sense of community, but also Magnus gets sick of it, so he starts renting a second apartment, but all the strangers keep staying at the first one. And I just feel like Addie would be in that crowd. I mean, she was in New York City. I can't remember if she was there at that time period, but don't you think they would have been friends? Did I already talk about this? I might go crazy and try to finish this today. We'll see how it goes, but I've realized I'm way too ambitious with my reading vlogs. There is no way I'm getting to Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy in this video, so it's probably just gonna be these two. But that's okay. I'm trying to savor every moment of this reread. Today's just a good day because I'm hanging with Bestie Magnus and Hit the Wall comes out in 3 hours. I swear this laughter is not performative for the video. This book is that funny. Isabel Lightwood being so protective over the people she loves. It gets me every time. This last section is just Magnus's voicemail during City of Lost Souls when Alec was calling him a ton. Poor Magnus dealing with these freaking teenagers. I just know he was so done. That's what you get when you date an 18-year-old when you're immortal. Do you know what's so weird is when I'm reading a book, I'm always kind of excited to get through it because I'm excited for what's coming next. But then the moment I finish it, I'm deeply sad and miss it. So that's a life lesson, to soak it in, be more present. I don't have much else to say about this except that it was amazing, and I'm still mad that I'll never be immortal. But at least I can live through Magnus. 5 stars, of course. And that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you so much for following along with another Shadowhunters reading video. I loved hiking and cooking with you. Let me know what you're eating lately, actually, because I still need more meals. I liked the tilapia meal, I didn't love it. So I'm gonna need more vegetable infused meals if anyone has recs. Let me know if you've read these books. If you're on a Shadowhunters reread, let me know where you're at in your reread. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.